So let me hand it over to Andy, and you can take it away from here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Tushar, for your kind words. I'm really thankful for that. And I welcome everyone to be joining our podcast. Really thank you for being here, because here we're going to talk about some important concept that really affects the entire humanity. Right? It's not just about a project or a single company or an industry. It's going to affect the way our life will be in future. Like for example, in coming years, we'll have AI agents. Creating those AI agents to work for the beneficial of humanity is more important. And while you're developing it, being responsible about it, that it really helps the humanity rather than creating something that can be an anti-agent, right? So uh, thinking through those elements in my past experience in AI projects, I have been able to build up a kind of a process that will have a guardrails around the implementation of an AI or the creation of AI models and AI agents, and those processes helps to identify and really get deep into how we can put through the people involved in the creation of the models, as well as the physics and the engineering combined together to really develop a responsible AI. So with that, in small little pitch, I could say we have created a framework called Terrain AI Framework. Now, if you just take a look at this, the innovation really is what is the forefront of our AI. And thinking about innovation, there can be a different ways of innovating, but Terrain provides a specific ways and process about innovating. So let's dig deeper into it, into what is Terrain, try to understand the level where we can implement it, and then how we can implement. That means what are the tools and methods available for that is provided by the Terrain to implement the project. Okay. So what you're seeing right now is, yes, we have a solution, and the solution comprises about three main pillars that allows you to kind of guide you through the AI agent creation. That's innovate, which is very important. It's in the forefront. I just you saw the survey. Then once you innovate, you need to implement it. So you kind of do the data and transfer. You make the learning of the systems, you implement it, and then of course you have to integrate it with the outside world, and then get the feedback. So all these processes we begin with the basic functionality. It has to be technology agnostic, so you can have it on any technology stack. The processes are iterative in nature. They can be refined as based on the industry. So it provides a flexibility in trying to build, or rather you could say trying to create the uh, uh, the the implementation processes based on the industry as well as based on a company. Now, very important part is really the governance of it, right? So the Terrain AI really provides you the end-to-end governance, and we will see to it as you go to the next slides and beyond, how governance helps and plays an important part in keeping the responsibility of, or rather you could say, make the AI as a responsible AI with the techniques of explainability as well as techniques of having humans in loop with the data labeling. So with that, let's begin to the next slide. I would say innovate, implement, integrate. Very important piece, right? So I'll go down to the next slide. So looking at this, so this is a Terrain framework. I just give a second for people to just take a look at it. If you look, Terrain really is the acronym of the different phases of the framework. It relies on the three pillars, as I just explained: innovate, implement, and integrate. And as we go by, so I'm just giving everyone to just take a look at it so that you don't have to focus on my talking, right? Okay. So if you look at the way the Terrain framework is set up, I basically create a team, you ideate, and then you kind of do a innovation. Innovation is in E and R, and then you rigorize. That means you train the model, you assimilate it, and then you integrate it with the outside world. So this is a broad outlay of your terrain framework. Okay, let's go deeper into one step into what each phase is comprises of. Okay, so when I say terrain T, there's a team up. Team up means you're creating or building a team. You're creating a team of data scientists. You're creating a team of the people who are actually going to work on the business case. So the output of this would be a business case. Then you go to this explore where you find out or identify a model. Once you find a model, also you have to identify the data set for which the model will work on. And those exploration requires a lot of innovation, testing, or rather you could say uh, uh, you don't have to have a bounds on that testing, right? So you need to have that kind of a environment where innovation can take space and place. So that's where the explore is. And then, of course, you have to create a minimum viable product. That is your research phase. Research phase really helps you to kind of now put the guardrails around your ethical way of building the model. Now, model in the beginning space, you can have model that can give a very outlandish, very biased output. Never mind, because you're doing an innovation. You're doing with a test data set. You have to be very wild in that phase of exploring. But when you reach to the research, the terrain framework provides you the tools really to kind of start putting up the guardrails around to make it more responsible. So at the time of preparation of data in the research phase, you create a MVP. That MVP is really your minimum viable product, or you can say a walking skeleton. And that skeleton, before it is fleshed in the next phase of rigorize, you kind of build the whole walking skeleton, or you can say minimum viable product that is actually actionable, which has got a minimum guardrails, which has got a minimum explainability setup, and just provides you the structure to take it to the next level. Okay, so that's how the innovate pillar would really behave. And then when it goes to the implement is really when you're started to train and you test the output of the MVP that has come up. Now, I would like to step back here and then just give you a go back to innovate. So when you have this T, E, and R, technically speaking, if you would see at every stage, a governance when it's implemented, you can really stop a particular model from going ahead by using your financial budgeting, or you can by using your ethical call, whether this model can be maturized into the next level or not. So that helps to kind of give a governance or accountability setup at every phases. And every phases has got its own output, and that output, the analyzing of that output really helps you to build up the case to forward it to the next phase. So if you look at that, the governance which I spoke to you about is really what is inbuilt within your Terrain AI framework. Now let's go back to the flow that I was having, and that was about rigorize. Rigorize is really your hardcore work where you have a model which is in a walking skeleton, or you can say a minimal viable product stage, and now you're going to make it more robust. You're going to make it more test worthy, and then you're going to use all your prompt engineering to build up your model into a full scale world-like model, right? So here's where you have opportunity to do again refine the product the way you want, or the way it is required. I would say not you want, the way it's required, based on the business case and based on the ethics part of your creation of an AI agent. So next you go to assimilate. Here's where you can identify that as human in the loop coming in the picture. Assimilate as a way is more of giving a certification of a complete mobile model or a complete AI agent. You collect the feedback. You collect the feedback from from the actual users who are going to use this as a test case. You have explainability tools available in this stage where the process will capture those explainability, the results of the explainability tools, and then it will provide you the feedback in how you can label the data, how you can make the unstructured into a structured data, and so that you can have a more understanding about what the output is going to be when it is in the real world. That kind of gives a comfort level, or you can say puts another level of guardrails that helps to keep the AI agent in a way which will provide an output that is required, or rather you could say that is more compliance oriented. Hence, assimilate as a stage would come to a point where it will provide a ready-made model which is ready to go and face the world. That's when you go to the next level, that is iterate. That is iterate is really you are integrating with your current business process, might be integrating with your current customer base. You're deploying it into the real world through different techniques, and we will go to that in the next few slides. I will kind of bring that methods that are used for all the phases. And then, of course, the final one is navigate, right? Where you do your track performance, you see whether there's a data drift. The data drift is a very important concept within the AI. Whether the compliance that we had already envisioned, it is actually going there or not. So and so forth, we can do the integration as a phase. Now, we have just 6 minutes. As we go by, let me take you quickly through other rest of the methods that we are used in our Terrain AI framework. So these are the methods that we use for our Terrain AI framework. If you look at the first phase, the T&E, we create a business case. You innovate in your second phase in the ENR, that is explore and research. You innovate without fear. Then you also experiment responsibly when you are really creating the MVP. That is over here. Then when you develop with agility in the phase of rigorize, we have methods called Scrum Ban that are created specifically for this particular Terrain AI framework. Then we move on to the building the trust with the human in loop. Really, this is a custom process that is created just to integrate this feedback loops in a way where at the end the output is really your complete model, assimilated model that can go and face the worldly rigors. At the end, you deployed with confidence. The reason is that because we have done all the testing, we have got all the certification, we do an MLOps and DevOps kind of deployment using the tools. So the best part of the Terrain framework is we're using the tools that are available within a organization. We are not reinventing the wheel, but we are taking the best of your processes and building it along with the Terrain framework to go on and deploy a responsible AI model or an agent or any business case that is required in this current compliance. So I think we have just got 4 minutes, and I think I need to kind of rush through few slides. I wanted to bring this up that we have the every phase will have a different
you could run 5 minutes longer if you need to, Andy. Just I don't want to like totally rush through.
Okay, fine. No problem. I have a timer, it's showing me 4 minutes. So, all right, no worries. So in a way, let me stop over here. Here, it might look like we are using a Scrum, which is yes, but really there is a lot of difference in using a normal Scrum and then using a Scrum Ban, right? So this is where a model-centric Scrum Ban is introduced, where within the first phase, depending upon what level of accuracy you require in your AI agent or AI model, you can budget your team to perform to that level. So say maybe release 1, you just need an accuracy of 75%, and then you want to have or for another model, you need an accuracy for 85%. You can use this release 1, 2, 3, which has 2, 3 sprints apart to really gain to that level of accuracy. So being a process that allows you to reach that accuracy level and committing to that within your plan is where I think the robustness of the Terrain AI framework really shows up. I want to also show you this. This is a very unique function assimilation, or you can say a feedback that we have created, a process that we have created, where you kind of go find the channels where you can collect the data for your feedback. You triage it, you analyze it. If there is some issues, then you go down to the loop of a human in loop. That's where you kind of do the data labeling, structurize your data, and again update the model. Once it is updated, it performs the way it wants. It goes again to your feedback loop, gets recertified, and goes into your AI loop, saying that okay, this model is complete. In case if it has to find a new training data, depending upon the results that have gone from the previous loop, you find a new training data, you refine the hyperparameters, and in that case, it has to do all the whole loop network again. So this helps to kind of really put a advanced level of guardrails and make your agents really responsible. Here we are going to use the existing MLOps. There might be many companies who do not have MLOps, right? It's okay. Terrain framework provides you the tools to build those machine learning ops. If not, then we have those tools to do that. But DevOps, most of the companies do have. So the Terrain AI MLOps really integrates with your existing DevOps to provide you a deployment path and implementing the models that are created into the real world, right? So this is where this tool set can be seen through as you go through the CI/CD pipeline and then through a production deployment, and then again keep monitoring around your deployment. So that's our final tool. Just to sum up. So again, AI implementation is really not a cookie cutter approach. It needs at different phases, or you can say at different places of implementation. I'm not talking about Terrain as such. I'm just stepping back and looking at an AI implementation as such. You need to have innovative mindset. Then you need to implement that mindset into a real life form. And then, of course, you have to test it and then deploy it. So at different stages, you have to move your models at different times. And of course, you need to have a guardrails around it. So that's where the Terrain is that powerful, is so powerful that at every stage, it provides you with different tool sets. So once you start with a design thinking to create a business case, once you have a business case, you kind of do the experimentation, explainability, you explore, then you rigorize it with your model-centric Scrum-Ban. Once you have that, you kind of do the explainability or feedback loops, then deploy it with your latest MLOps develops, and then you DevOps, and then you kind of do a continuous monitoring. So these processes and methods inbuilt within Terrain gives a pathway for a CIO or any stakeholder at the top business level, or at the bottom level, where you have a resource or a new data scientist analyst who's trying to build of understanding how this process is going to work. This Terrain process basically creates a pathway for having them understand end-to-end how this process is being implemented. Okay. So with that, I can go to the next slide, and that's going to be my final one. Just to give a pitch, basically, Terrain AI framework is comprehensive, as I just mentioned. But the best part is it's repeatable, right? So you can repeat the process again and again because it is technology agnostic, as well as it has got a governance structure, which allows you to kind of just feed the numbers change, the models change, the technology underlying change, but the process remains the same. So it is repeatable in nature. That's where the power of the Terrain AI framework comes. AI infused, of course, they are AI infused, and of course it is cutting edge. So ultimately, Terrain AI framework for any business or any organization, it just gives you an edge over your competitors. win over, right? So this is how the Terrain AI framework will help to build a responsible AI which is ethically compliant as per the norms of the government as well as per the norms of our society, to bring really the reason of why the AI should be for our entire humanity.